So this is what NotebookLM looks like when you've set up your account. First things first, this is a free tool, so you do not have to pay to access these features. If you're a student, you also get access to Google Pro for free, so make the most of that. Okay, so I've just uploaded one of my favorite neuroscience papers to the notebook. As you can see, it gives a quick AI summary, as you might expect. But what I want you to focus on are the different options over here to the right. Clicking on each of these tells Notebook to generate content for each of these different formats. And specifically today, I want us to focus on mind map, video overview, and audio overview. Whilst these are generating, let me tell you about why this is important. I have found this super helpful for my research, especially when you're just starting out in a field and just wanting to get the download on information quickly. This tool is super useful if you have a paper or a collection of papers that are very complicated and dense, and you need a simplified overview of the main ideas before you get started. NotebookLM is basically an offline LLM, so you give it the documents you want it to learn from, and then it extracts all of the information from those documents and gives it back to you in super easy digestible chunks. NotebookLM is a super helpful tool when you don't want the AI to hallucinate and when you just want information about specific documents that you give it. The mind map feature is a really helpful navigation tool that expands and expands as you click on each subcompartment. Okay, so for this specific paper, I struggle to understand the methodology for how they analyze the data. So let's look into that. I'll click on experimental methods, analysis techniques, and dynamic causal modeling. This is what I want to know more about. Then once you reach the specific part you want to know more about, you can click on it and it will generate a text summary of that specific idea. If you like the response from Notebook, then make sure to click on the Save to Note feature so you can access the generated response when you return to the notebook on future visits. It's also worth pointing out that I can click on any part of the mind map and get a text summary for that bit. Like I could have clicked on this whole category rather than going even deeper. These footnote features are super important as well because they tell you where exactly the information has come from. The video overview feature is essentially a tool that condenses the whole research paper into a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation narrated by a lovely AI synthetic voice. Take a look. This is for the paper I uploaded before that used the dynamic causal modeling methodology.
All right, welcome. Today we're going to dive into one of the most incredible things our brain can do, how it creates this rich visual world we all experience, both when our eyes are open and when they're shut. Let's get right into it. So, think about this for a second. It seems pretty simple, right? One apple is real, out there in the world, and the other one is just in your head. But what's really going on inside your brain? How does it actually tell the difference between a real apple and a mental one? That's the big mystery we're unpacking today. For a long time, scientists have known that seeing something and imagining that same thing light up a lot of the same areas in the brain. But how the brain actually tells them apart? Well, that's been a major puzzle. Until a really clever study decided to try and map the signals. And that brings us to this study by a team of researchers who designed an experiment to kind of peek under the hood, mapping the brain's internal wiring to see exactly how these two different kinds of vision really work.
See how much of a story and a narrative is created? This feature is really helpful when you want an easy to understand, simple overview of hard, complicated papers. Importantly, I'm not recommending that this replaces you reading the paper, but I think it's a helpful warm-up before you go digging into the details of a paper. It accelerates your learning process. It's especially helpful if you're meeting with a researcher and you need to get a quick summary of their work. Then Notebook is super helpful for giving you the key conversation starters. And the audio overview will give you an AI-generated podcast conversation between two AI agents.
I want to start today with a little task. I want you and everyone listening to go ahead and close your eyes right now, just for a moment.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right, I want you to conjure up an apple, a red apple. Visualize that waxy shine on the skin, maybe some, yellow speckling near the top, that little dip where the stem pokes out. Got it.
I've got it sort of hovering right there in the dark.
Okay, open your eyes. Now look at something real. Your desk, or the wall, your coffee cup. Now, answer me honestly, did those two experiences feel the same?
Not at all, no. The desk is undeniably here. It has this stability, a brightness. The apple, well, even though I could see it, it felt thinner, almost ghostly.
Ghostly is a great word for it, and that feeling is actually a good thing. If that internal apple felt as solid and real as your desk, we wouldn't be recording a deep dive right now.
This is similar to the video overview, but it is often a lot more detailed and goes on for much longer. Depending on the documents you upload, these audio overviews can sometimes be 40 to 50 minutes, which can be helpful if you're going on a walk because you can download the Notebook app and then listen to the podcast whilst outside. But generally, I would say that the video overview feature is much better than the audio overview because it's shorter and tells a better story. Google have recently added some new features to the tool. Infographic is one of them. Check this out. This blows me away. It's the factual accuracy that amazes me here. Like, all of these brain regions are basically in the right place. The occipital cortex, the intraparietal sulcus, the inferior frontal gyrus. There are no typos and all of the sentences make sense. Google have also added this slide deck feature, which again just blows me away. For that paper I was just talking you through, it generates me a full PowerPoint presentation in seconds. If I want to download the presentation, then I just need to click on these three dots. And what's also cool is the ability you have to personalize what you want. If you click on the pencil icon, this interior dashboard pops up and I can choose what style of presentation I want rather than the default text-heavy slides. I want slides that are going to be more visual. Let's try that and see what we get. Check it out. This is wild that it can generate this automatically. I now have this personalization functionality on all the tools I've shown you today. So on audio overview, I can choose between whether I want the synthetic AIs to debate each other or really critique the research. On the video overview, I can choose the artistic style that I want, whether I want a longer video or a shorter one, and the language I want too. Check out the number of choices of languages we have here. And finally, there is the chat function itself, which I would also strongly recommend. This is very effective if you have a specific question that you want answered. For example, I can just type into the chat feature, what are the main predictions of this research and were they correct? And it summarizes all of the key predictions instantaneously. Again, if you want to save this for future access, then you make sure to click the Save to Note button. Best bit, and also sometimes the worst bit. You can basically upload as many documents as you want. The context window of this tool is massive, and the model didn't used to be good at all at weighting the different documents equally, but they have improved this recently. It's still not perfect though. For example, here I've dropped in 15 documents, and I get all the same features I've talked through already. But whether or not you choose to trust this bit is up to you. For example, if you haven't come across the literature before, you don't know what you don't know, and therefore you don't actually know if the model is catching all of the important information across all of the documents you've uploaded. For example, when I've generated audio and slide deck on these, the model actually only focuses on a few of the papers, which is not good if I want a full summary, and would be even worse if I thought it was giving me a full summary of all 15 papers. It's like the signal in the documents gets a bit noisy and lost when too many documents overload the model, but you wouldn't know about that unless you know the content of the documents already. So it's kind of this catch-22 situation. So use the multiple document feature according to your own AI trust levels and your own risk tolerance. But the tool is pretty close to perfect when you upload 1, 2, or 3 papers. And if you are going to upload lots of documents, it helps the model to make sure they're all of the same category. Thanks very much for listening.